Real quick, if you are using your home address to register your new business, stop. Just don't do it. I know it sounds simple, convenient, easy, and like a no-brainer, but it could actually hurt your brand, your privacy, your protection, and could ultimately be illegal, big time. In this video, I am breaking down for you why your home address is the wrong move and what you should use instead. And I'm going to give you my favorite provider to do just that. Let's get to work. So let's talk about this big thing, right? This big thing, because I would tell you that 90% of the entrepreneurs that are in my club, my membership, my coaching programs, and even work with me one-on-one or even as students in my online courses have used or were thinking about using their home address when starting their businesses, when registering their businesses. And it's not a good idea. It's actually a bad idea. And let's get into the big 5 reasons why it's not the best idea. And I'm also going to tell you what address you should use that's going to help you really look legit, especially when starting or consulting a business. And I'm going to give you the #1 provider that you should do it with. Let's get into it. Reason #1 why using your home address is not a good idea. And this is a big one because #1, your privacy equals gone. Yes, privacy equals gone. Why don't you just take your home address and put it as your profile picture on all of your social media platforms? It's like the same thing, especially when you become a business owner. When you're registering your business, your address, that business address, becomes public. And when you are putting that business address, anybody who wants to check out the legitimacy of your business, wants to check out if your business is registered, what your business looks like, they're going to ultimately get your home address, especially if you use that home address in your agent of record area on your registration. And anybody's going to be able to Google it. So ultimately, aside from the registration, there is a such thing as Google and Google Your Business. And the Google Your Business is going to list the address that you have registered your business with. And so therefore, your home address becomes widely known public information. You really want your clients showing up on your front porch? I don't think so. Do you really want a bunch of spam junk mail for your business showing up at your house? I don't think so. Get enough of that on a personal level, right? Do you really want somebody Googling your business thinking, oh my gosh, I'm right in the neighborhood. I can stop by and check out this consultant that I'm paying, and pulling up in your driveway and you outside in your bonnet? I don't think you do. That is one of the biggest reasons why what you put on that registration paperwork is going to ultimately show up in a very public way. And that means that your privacy is gone. And ultimately, it's also not the safest thing to do, right? I mean, we've all seen all kinds of craziness happening out here in the world with customers doing crazy things to CEOs and to people that run businesses because they're just not happy with a little bit of rejection that they may have received. And that business address could be a thing for that as well. Not wishing anything bad, but that's the truth. I'm keeping it real. And so that's one of the biggest reasons why you don't want to use your home address, right? Privacy equals gone. Reason #2, you don't want to use your home address as a consultant, starting a business, coach, service provider, expert-based business owner is because you look small time. Yes, you look small time, and you are going to be charging high ticket dollars for what you provide. Your intellectual property ain't cheap. It's expensive. I'm talking $3, $4, $5, $10, $20, $30,000 contracts. And the last thing that you want is someone that you are trying to make a huge bid and charge them a $20,000 contract and sign a $30,000 deal with, is that you are working from your living room. It's just not the vibe, right? So you don't want to look small time. I mean, a residential address on your website, on your contracts, on your business card, on Google My Business is going to scream, I work from home. I don't have an office space. It doesn't scream professional. It doesn't scream polished. And whether you're charging $500 or $5,000 a month for each of your service packages, what do you want your brand to say? It is not, I'm working from my living room in my pajamas. You want it to say, I'm a professional. This is my business. This is not a side hustle or a hobby. And using your home address will scream, I'm not a professional. This is just a side hustle and a hobby. It just is what it is. And perception is everything. The number 3 reason why you don't want to use your home address as your business address is because it could be illegal. Yes, you heard me. I said it could be illegal. In many cities, zoning laws prevent you from being able to use residential addresses for commercial use. I know in my city, in my particular neighborhood, there are only certain areas where businesses can actually be set up, and most of them are not residential. So you could literally be putting yourself at risk in violating zoning laws in your city, which could impact fines and what you owe in your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, also what you owe as far as taxes are concerned. It could just be illegal. If you are renting a space or leasing somewhere, your lease could very explicitly say you cannot use this apartment for business purposes because it exposes the landlord to a lot of liability that they may not want to be subject to. So you really do need to read the lease and see. Now, working from home is a totally different thing than owning a business from home, right? Commercial use of your property. And that's what I'm really talking about, because I know it's going to be some smart behind in the comments that say, well, I work from home. What's the big deal? Totally different, honey. Get out of the W-2 mentality and get into the CEO mentality. You got to think different because it is different. And what I'm talking about right now is very different. So make sure that you check, because if you've been using your home address as your business address and it is publicly all over everything, quite frankly, you could be breaking your lease, you could be affecting your homeowner's insurance, or you could be breaking the law. And you don't want to start your career and your business off that way. Now, do you? Nope, you don't. And the number 4 reason why you don't want to use your home address as your business address is because it's limiting your growth. Yeah, you're starting this business because you ultimately want to scale to a life of freedom, right? You want decision-making freedom, you want time freedom, you want financial freedom. And a big part of achieving that is going to be growing this thing. Using your home address can block you from setting up a Google business profile, and that's going to ultimately impact your growth. It can stop you from opening up a business bank account, and that will ultimately stop you from setting up a good sound structure, which will stop you from growth. And it can also stop you from looking legit to corporate clients who Google everything. Trust me. So why limit your growth? Get the right type of address. There's tons of options out there, and the one that I'm going to give you guys in just a second is ideal for it, and it's super cost effective. Why risk it? And the 5th reason why you don't want to set up your home address as your business address is really directly related to my experience. It can communicate something that you don't want it to communicate in the event that something happens in your life and it causes a change. I'm specifically talking about something that I've spoken to many of you before about, and that is my very first business having to be dissolved because I went through a divorce. And I lost that business in the divorce because the way that I had set up the business structure clearly communicated that my ex-husband, who was in the course of this divorce, looking for financial gain and looking to get out of financial obligation, said that he was a contributor to the business. And the way that I had it set up, it looked like and communicated that he was a contributor to the business, and he had nothing to do with it. Didn't know how to do it, didn't know what it was about, couldn't have produced any kind of work product, but we were going through a divorce, and that's a time for everyone to take advantage of everything else. And because I had used my home address and I had used our joint personal account to begin to fund some of my business, I had actually put him on the operating paperwork. All of those things communicated, yeah, he owns half of this. And the reality was he didn't own none of it. And because of that, I couldn't get out of it. I had to dissolve the business because of my divorce. And so that is definitely not something that you want to communicate. Life happens, situations happen, things change, and you don't want to set your business up in a way that communicates that it belongs to somebody that it don't belong to. And using your home address can definitely communicate that. So I would say that that's not a real standard reason. That's not a reason you're going to find when you Google why you shouldn't do it, but CP is keeping it all the way real on here today with you, and that's a big reason for me. It's a lesson that I learned, and I'm sharing that lesson with you. So just don't do it. Use this other address. Let's get into what that is right now. So what is the better solution, right? You're saying, CP, you're telling me that I can't use the only address that I know, the only address that I have in order to start my business. And the better solution really is using a virtual business office address. Yes, not a business office mailbox, not a PO box, but a virtual business office address. And I recommend Alliance Virtual Offices. You guys know that I do. I have worked with Alliance for a couple of years, actually, and I just love them. It's one of the smartest and easiest ways for you to get a real business address that is in a real office building, office setting, without renting an expensive space for you to sign a lease and subjecting yourself to very high overhead and operating costs. The real commercial address of Alliance Virtual Addresses is what really does separate it out from the iPostals and the virtual office mailboxes and office boxes that you see out there. I've used Alliance Virtual Offices for years, and it's the one I recommend to all of my students and clients who are starting or growing their consulting businesses, especially if they're doing it from home. Alliance Virtual Offices gives you the opportunity to get affordable, professional office address that gives you that I run this empire energy, even if your office right now is at your kitchen table. Alliance allows you to log into their system, type in your zip code, and find professional commercial office spaces in your area or within a certain mile radius that you can use as an office address. They will collect your mail for you to be able to go in. They will give you a professional office address that you can use for your LLC registration, your IRS EIN paperwork, and your business banking account. It works for your Google business profiles, your phone answering and mail forwarding services. It gives you access to real meeting rooms when you need them. Let's say you've got that big client presentation and you need to have a conference room. Alliance Virtual Offices, when you are a member, will give you access to those for a minimal price, so you don't have to do a presentation in the middle of Panera Bread, okay? And there's no long-term leases or crazy overhead. I love Alliance Virtual Offices, even though I have a brick and mortar office space at my home base. When I am traveling and need to do a big client presentation, it is perfect. All I gotta do is look up Alliance Virtual Offices in the area. I'm able to call, book a conference room with full presentation capabilities. They've even got catering services, so I can get that coffee, I can get that cake. I can really impress my clients who are away from me and really set up an actual presentation, especially for those big consulting contracts that you need. If you are trying to propose or do a presentation or pitch yourself to a big client and you're looking at getting a $20, $30, or $50,000 contract, you're gonna need a presentation space in a conference room. Short of actually getting a hotel room and not being real creepy with something like that, Alliance Virtual Offices will give you access to all of that. If you do decide that you're tired of working from home and need to get away, you can also go and use your Alliance Virtual Office space for a day to actually get away from home and get some real work done and don't have to be posted up in Starbucks or Panera Bread with all the high school kids. That's another reason why I love it. But most importantly, it does give you the freedom and flexibility to grow with your business. So you might be working from your kitchen table right now, but in a few years, you may decide, I want to add a team. I want to add some assistants. I want to add some other consultants to my team. And you're going to need office space, and Alliance Virtual Offices will give you a great runway to do just that. You can check out Alliance Virtual Offices at the link in the description below. I will also make sure that it is in the comments. It is the best business address provider out there, hands down, still is. Y'all know I've been looking at all the tools for 2025, reviewing everything, and they are still the bomb. And their customer service and their team is absolutely amazing in helping you out. And they've got some gorgeous office spaces for you to be able to utilize. So you make sure that you check them out. I'm telling you, if you are starting your consulting business from home, it is definitely a boss move. I wish that I would have had an Alliance Virtual Offices 25 years ago when I was starting mine from home, but the address that you register with can either help you look like a CEO or hold you back like it's a side hustle or a hobby. And office leases, brick and mortar are expensive, expensive, expensive. So you don't want to dive all in like that, right? Don't risk your privacy. Don't risk your professionalism. Don't give people access to your front door. And definitely don't violate your lease or your HOA or your city ordinance, because that could get you kicked out. All right. Just get yourself a virtual office address through Alliance Virtual Offices. Check that off your list. I'm talking between $40, $65 a month. That's it to have a real professional office presence and set your business up right. Okay. So just really quickly recap. Don't use your home address. Use a virtual office address instead. Look professional, stay legal, protect your peace, and use Alliance Virtual Offices to do it. Until next time, my loves, make sure you check out Alliance. They are amazing, quick, easy business address to make sure that you can still function from home, but look like the real boss that you are. Until next time, my loves, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.